Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Scorpio. So, Scorpio, as usual, I'm doing this reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. So, Scorpio, you have a very intriguing reading today because it was taking a certain route, but then very rapidly it changed completely, and I feel like you have a way of leaving a mark in this world that is magnificent. It's like it's very intentional. You are very aware of what you're doing, of the steps that you're taking, of how integral you are as a human being, and how everywhere that you go, you are being fully you, right? It's not like you are forgetting about pieces of you depending on the places that you go. It feels like you are fully you, completely you. But there is an intention here, Scorpio, that either this is unconscious or this is something that you're not completely aware. Leaving this mark, or these marks, I should say, it's actually attracting a partner, or maybe that is intentional, but it's not at the forefront, not at first, I want to say. And things get a little bit confusing after you have this realization, but we're going to get there. So, we're beginning with the Nine of Pentacles. So, this is you seeking your independence, right? This is coming strongly with this message of finding and building your own independence, be it professional, financial, physical, health wise, however you want to see the pentacles for you. It feels very concrete, it feels very practical. So, it's your path. But I cannot help but see this as also the card that talks about your own independence as a human being, meaning that you don't depend on others, right? Or in relationships, to be honest, which is funny. And this is where the confusing part, it ends here with the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles is the last card, which is kind of like this contrasting um message, right? It's like here you are proud to be single, proud to be singular, right? It's like you are happily building your own livelihood, your own professional career, your independence, your business, however you want to see this. But here you are ready to connect, ready to relate to others. And so the reason why I say in the beginning, you're very clearly set on this path of finding and seeking and going after your independence, because the Five of Pentacles coming next, this is where I was picking up the message of leaving a mark, right? I was seeing this as like literally like making this X on like trees, or like being on a certain trail. I was just thinking about Camino de Santiago, which is a pilgrimage path in Spain. I think I mentioned this path in one of the readings maybe a while back. But it's coming here for you today as well, because I'm seeing this as well. Just to complete that thought on the Camino. So that thought is all signaled by these arrows, right? These yellow arrows that point the way to the pilgrims. And so, to be honest, I don't feel like you're going on a path in that sense, but I do feel like you are leaving the mark for yourself, right? Before the rest of the cards came through, I was seeing this as strongly like you leaving the mark for yourself, so that you remember where you've been through, so that if you want to return, it's like you can return to this place. Because not only this is this self-integrity, which is the main message sometimes for you, it's like the blending of this self-integrity, like a mark of self-integrity together with a physical mark, right? I don't know exactly if this is like leaving an object or whatever type of mark that signals to you that you've been there. This is what you're doing. And I want to say it's not even in one place. Before, with these two cards, I was seeing this as, a more local thing, maybe in your neighborhood, maybe in your city, not something global. But then, as soon as I was thinking all of that, right, just like, just having this reassurance of, okay, so this is a more local thing, then the world came through and it gave me this wider perspective of, no, 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 it's not just local, it's also global. So I do feel like whether you do this intentionally, because until here, I do feel like you do this very intentionally. So you move about your day, you go through, your city very intentionally, leaving these marks of self integrity wherever you are. But then, as soon as it takes on this larger scale, this global scale, I feel like maybe it just grows so big that it's almost like that sensation of being too tiny, in the face of a mountain, or like this, gothic church, or there's something that just makes you feel small, or it's almost like it's almost like you're feeling this sense of like being just a grain of sand in an entire beach, right? This time seeing this change in scale, right? Going from the local to the global, but you're still having this impact, I want to say, because it's almost like you're searching for a specific place. So that's the reason why you were leaving these marks, I want to say, just because maybe it has to do, I don't feel like it's that clear, or maybe it's not that obvious for you, right? It's not at the forefront of your mind, but perhaps it has to do with security, right? Stability, some sort of safe harbor to come back to if you need to. Because it seems like it's like you're going far and wide. You're going to places that are beyond your regular frontier, your regular your regular local neighborhood or community or streets, right? Or like these paths that you're used to walking or driving or, going to. When you reach this level, it feels like things shift in a sense. And this is where it starts to become a little bit just bizarre, to be honest, because here you're so set in your own self, in your own path, in your own integrity, in your own independence. But then maybe you go to a specific place, right? Because the Five of Pentacles, sometimes it talks also about a location. Maybe you go to a specific place and then the Two of Cups appears. And I feel like it almost has to do with you finding something somewhere, right? It's almost like here you were leaving pieces, leaving breadcrumbs for yourself to find later on, right? But then you go to a place where you've never been, and suddenly it feels like you find something or someone that really deeply resonates with you. But the interesting thing is that the Hermit card is coming next. Actually, these two cards, they turn together. Um, and it was bizarre because it gave me again this sense of independence and claiming your sovereignty from this place of solitude, right? From this place of being single, of, you know, not depending upon a partner to feel like you can sustain your own life, right? Like you can live a good life built by your own effort. So here is almost like this reaction, perhaps, because it's almost like I'm seeing like a turtle, right? It's like, as soon as it faces some sort of threat, or what it perceives as a threat, it's like it comes back inside, right? It retreats. So because you've been here maybe for a long time, just proud of it, right? It's like you are leaving that mark. You know that you are, it's like the farther you go, even though here you were still in this local scale, the farther you went, it's like you just knew that you were leaving this mark, maybe for yourself, right? Of self integrity. It's like wherever you went, you knew that the trail that you were leaving behind was one of self integrity. The moment that you go someplace new with a new set of, you know, culture, rules, or just like everything is different, right? It's like the streets and the names and the language and the people and the habits and everything, right? It's like it's not as familiar, it's not as predictable as these paths that you were walking before. So as soon as it gets a little bit more complex and it just grows exponentially, you go to a specific place that you find something that, or someone, right, that really just, it shakes you from the heart space, right? So your instinct, I want to say, is to just get back inside, just retreat. And it's almost like you have to analyze that, you have to study that, you have to, it's like it wasn't part of your plan. It's like your plan was very um maybe strictly just like going down a path of singlehood, or I don't even know if that's a word, but like just being single, right? It's like you were okay with that, but then it changes, right? And it's almost like you need to retreat because it's almost like you want to check in with your own higher self, with your own like inner wisdom, if, even if things change drastically, because it's like it's the opposite, right, of, you know, not being single anymore. It's like it's different than what you have been traveling, right, by these standards of, you know, your own independence, just making sure that that was the thing that you prioritized, perhaps. It's like you just want to make sure that you didn't leave behind this self integrity, or that you it's like you went back inside to find it, right? To reassure to yourself that even if this really shakes you, if this really moves you, if this really touches you deeply inside your heart, it's like if you're not going to lose your self integrity in this, because it's almost like you are in such a foreign territory that it's like it's almost like these types of things, they could happen but they weren't in the script, right? So what this card that is coming next is showing me, which is actually very fascinating, it's, they're both actually playing one role. They are a combination which just builds one image. So the Three of Pentacles, which is upside down, what I saw here was an hourglass. So there is this shape that goes down and then this shape that goes up, right? And it's interesting because it's almost like so far in this local scale that you have been very successfully achieving this independence. It's like you have built half of the hourglass, or it's almost like you didn't expect this to happen this time around, or so soon, because it's almost like you weren't aware that there was almost like, I want to say like universal forces, or like some sort of unconscious detail in this plan, in this script of yours, right? That felt pretty like focused on self, right? Focused on your individuality, in your ability to sustain yourself without depending on anyone. It's like that was just half of it. And now that you are seeing the other half, it's like now time is ticking. Now the hourglass is working. Now things have been aligned. Because the Three of Pentacles also talks about finding people, right? So if before you were solely focused on yourself, it's like something shifts with perhaps a trip, right? That you, it's like you were going beyond already your own frontiers, your own limitations, your own boundaries, but you didn't expect this to come so soon. You didn't expect a partnership to blossom, right? Or to come through, like, you know, in a very unexpected way, right? Very unexpected. But it seems like partnerships are the theme now, right? It's like are the reason why, in a very beautiful and very stable way, you built your own inner wisdom. It's almost like this is the bottom half. This is the part of the hourglass that needed to be very grounded, I want to say, right? Because it's like you were grounding yourself in self integrity. And that is, it's like every step of the way until this point where you went beyond your frontiers, it's like you were reinforcing, you were strengthening your own self integrity. But as soon as that part is strong enough, it's like you know that you can trust your inner wisdom. This is when the other half comes in, and it feels like it comes in as maybe like a romantic relationship, but also friends or co-workers or maybe people that you're going to collaborate with. But also it's like relationships in general, because it's almost like it starts ticking. It's almost like if before you were accustomed to your own company, you weren't uh and it's not that you weren't open to relationships, it's just that you were focused in your own independence, right? That was your main goal, your main objective. So you were just focusing on that. But after this trip, it feels like there is something that happens that very, very it's like it's a very distinctive change, right? It's like it's almost like all of a sudden you are surrounded by people, right? In all areas of life, right? It's like romantic setting, the friendship setting, the co-worker setting, right? It's like the professional setting. All of these areas are now going to be filled with people, right? Relationships, and very fair ones, right? Because you were always grounding in your own self integrity. This was the mark, right? So each mark that you left was for yourself to, whenever you needed, retreat back to your part of this puzzle, right? Which is, this bottom half of the hourglass. Because it's almost like if it's not stable enough, it's like these things cannot come in, right? These relationships cannot come in, because once they come in, it's like, as I was saying, it's like I'm seeing like the like a clock, right? Like tick tack, tick tack. So, and I know that it's not the case with the hourglass, right? It's more like or however you want to see this or hear this. um but it's almost like this sand clock, right? So but there is like this time that is now it's almost like now it's on time, now you are on time, now things are moving, because it's like you have set this in motion. It's like, because, and you can see that this is the way to go, because there are people that are matching your vibration, right? It starts with the Two of Cups, but then it expands with the Three of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. So for you, Scorpio, it might not be exactly what you were anticipating or what you were envisioning, because, we started with the Nine of Pentacles. So it was almost like this predictable type of path of just sticking to your own independent path. But it seems like something shifts. Also, because the world is the last card of the major arcana. So it could be like a completion of that cycle of being single, right? Or being alone most of the time, or the majority of your day. um and it feels like something just, it's almost like this switch that is flipped in a way that it starts in a very deep connection, but then it expands, because there is this higher force, right? The Justice being at the bottom of the deck, which, is the Libra card, and Libra talks about relationships. So it feels like it's like you are just open now. But it's not that you weren't before, it's just that now it's going to happen, right? It's like it's almost like it's inevitable. It's like you're ready for this. It's something that is just, is something that is fair, is something that is meant to bring you peace and harmony and beauty and justice, right? So, and going back, just to finish here, going back to the self integrity, right? If you needed to retreat after this first impact of meeting this Two of Cups, or finding this signal, right, that you're not going to be alone in this path anymore. It's almost like you know that it's like you know that you always can retreat back to your own company. This is not an issue for you. It's like you're good with yourself, right? You like your own company, you enjoy it, you learn from yourself, right? So it's not like you were avoiding relationships because you didn't know how to be with yourself, or all of that conundrum. It's nothing like that. You enjoyed being on yourself. It's just that now things are going to be more balanced if you are in partnerships, right? Of every single sort of it, right? The romantic sort of it, the professional, the friendship, all of these types of relationships. Interesting. Okay, so Scorpio, I am going to pull more cards for you, as well as the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Bye.